Zack Gibson, head football coach at South Doyle High School. Go Cherokees. This is the No Playbook Podcast.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the show. This is the podcast featuring outstanding athletes, coaches, and experts, all from East Tennessee. My name's Casey. Joining me today, Coach Zack Gibson, brand new head coach for football at South Doyle. Coach Gibson was a longtime assistant at Powell. Worked with him on a few events when he was over there under Coach Lowe. And now he's getting his first big shot to be the head guy there at South Doyle. So he joins the show to talk about just kind of what that hiring process was like and what the fans and players can expect under this new era of Coach Gibson there at South Doyle. This episode is sponsored by Stinnett Collision. Reach out to them if you're in need of automotive repair. They've got locations in Maryville and Sevier County. Coach Zack Gibson, right after this. Sit tight.
Hi, I'm Zach Stinnett, third-generation owner of Stinnett Collision. As a proud supporter of Tennessee athletics, we know that every game counts. When a collision puts you out of play, we're here to get you back in the game. Family-owned since 1965, Stinnett Collision now has locations in Maryville and Sevierville. With double the space and a team of certified technicians, we'll tackle your repairs and get you back on the road in no time. Don't let a collision sideline you. Visit Stinnett Collision today.
Good, man. You been playing out in the snow?
Yeah, a little bit. So we got out there yesterday. We've got a 14-month-old, and we got out there with him for a little bit, and then we quickly realized that it was less than 20 degrees, so we came back inside.
Yeah, the fun thing about kids is it's fun until it isn't, and it makes that switch really quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in about 5 seconds.
Yep. And there's my 6-year-old had some screaming, and I'm cold and wet.
Yeah, hands were wet, feet were wet, because that's the first time. So it snowed, I guess, about this time last year with him. But I mean, he was 2-3 months old. He didn't remember any of that. So that was really the first time he's got to go out there and play in the snow and stuff. And so he had a good time. I think he's like to the window and just looking at it more than he is getting out there in it.
Yeah, that's fun. I was just moments before hopping on here. I was out. So I'm in Maryville, and one of the Maryville assistant coaches lives right by me. So we were out sliding with our kids just minutes ago.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
So I wanted to have you on just to hear about the whole process with, getting hired as the head coach at South Doyle. What was that process like you went through?
So it happened pretty fast. I think the only thing that slowed it down a little bit was going on to Christmas break. My first interview was right before the break, and then everybody went home for a couple of weeks, and then we came back. And then after that, it happened incredibly fast. Once I was able to go back and meet with the administration with Mr. Riley and Coach Moore and Coach Chandler and a few other people. But yeah, it was great. Got offered the job and then made the official hire on Wednesday, the 7th, I think, of January. And then it has just been 1,000 miles an hour ever since, trying to kind of get the culture established and meet with the kids, meet with the coaches, community members, booster club, all that stuff. But it's been great. It's been really, really good. I'm excited.
What all goes into that to establishing like a new culture under Coach Gibson, like right away? Like what are the first steps?
I think a lot of it is going to be just having clear and concise communication with the kids and the coaches, kind of what the expectations and standards are, how to meet those, good things to do, things that we look for, things that we expect, and then things that we shouldn't be seeing, shouldn't be hearing, stuff like that. And then kind of what the repercussions are whenever those lines or boundaries do get crossed. Of course, you got to have some patience and a little bit of grace early on and things like that, because it's new for a lot of people figuring it out and stuff. But then they've all responded really, really well to kind of, I guess, what my vision is and what my standards are for being on time, like the way that we work, how we work, when we work, communicating, all that stuff. It's been really, really good.
Yeah. Have you interviewed for many other jobs in the past?
No, I've not. This is really only the second one that I've really actively pursued and gone in for an interview for. I've been really, really selective the last, 5 years, maybe 6 or 7 now. I kind of lose track of time once you be in it for a while, as long as I have. Just kind of with opportunities that I want to take or entertain or pursue and things like that. And I just thought that South Doyle was too good of an opportunity not to at least throw my name in the hat. And if it worked out, great. If it didn't, it didn't. I was in a great spot at Powell. I can't thank Coach Lowe and the administrative team over there enough, and that community, the program, the kids especially, for just taking care of me and loving me and my family and helping me grow as a person and a coach over the last 8 years. And When this opportunity came open, though, I was just like, it's too good to not at least give it a shot. And here we are.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting to me because, being a part of a program like that one at Powell, and being like, was there something specific about this opportunity that made now's the time?
Yeah, I think one, the administrative team, I think they're fantastic. I knew a little bit about them going into it, but the more that I get to know them at South Doyle, I think that's going to be a huge part of the success we're going to be able to have. I also think football matters in South Knoxville and at South Doyle High School. I've coached against those really, really strong teams that Clark Duncan had. I've seen them play. I've seen them go to the semifinals. I know what South Doyle and South Knoxville is capable of from a football standpoint, and what they're hungry for is just to see that success again. And I think on top of that too, the talent that they have in the locker room right now and the talent on the way, I think that's going to be a really big part of what we're able to do this year too, to kind of lay a foundation for the next 3, 5, 10 years going down the road.
Sweet. So speaking about that, what can both the fans and the players kind of expect from this new era? What are they going to see on the field?
Yeah, the first thing that I explained to them was
The wing
just that
tee.
I want no, not the wing tee. I did grow up in the wing tee in high school and college though, but no, we will not be installing the wing tee. I do appreciate that reference though, so that's good. That's good. That's really funny actually. But the one of the main things that I've told the kids and the coaches and even the community members I've been able to meet with is just stability, consistency, and reliability for the kids and the coaches, really for everybody. That not only me, but just South Doyle football as a program as a whole will be something that they can count on, that they can trust, that they know is going to be there for them when they need it. That's going to be there to celebrate with them when it's time to celebrate, and be there to pick them up when they need to be picked up. After that, the kind of three words that we've kind of adopted as our little mantra going into this season has been EDT, effort, discipline, and toughness. And that's going to be probably the biggest things that people will see. I'm really big on all of those. I think effort and everything that we do is going to be critical. Discipline and everything that we do is going to be really important, especially whenever the playing field is level. And then toughness too. When things don't go your way, how are you going to respond? And when things are going bad for you, how are you going to respond? Not just on the field, but in the classroom, at home, outside of football, not just now, even. I tell the kids all the time, especially on my leadership council that I have right now, I'm not trying to make you a better football player right now. I'm trying to make you a better man 5, 10, 15 years from now. That's what we're really, really focusing on and trying to get that done. And if we handle that and if we focus on the right things and we're process driven, not outcome driven, then everything else will take care of itself. Scoreboard, all that stuff takes care of itself.
Yeah, trust the process is something I hear a lot from
Yeah.
successful coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely one of the big things that I've leaned on, even in my own like personal and professional life, is just trust the process, do the little things right, be organized, have attention to detail, have great effort and all that stuff. And then everything else typically handles itself on its own if you do all
Yeah.
those things right on your end.
Is there a particular lesson that you learned even from Coach Lowe or one of the other Powell coaches that was really valuable in your coaching career?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say learning this from Coach Lowe at Powell and even from Coach Overton at Halls whenever he and I work together is to take care of your people, the kids and the coaches first, especially the kids. Always, always be sure the kids are taken care of, that they know that you have their back, that you're going to hold them accountable, but at the same time, you're going to be, like I said earlier, that stable, consistent, and reliable figure that a lot of those kids need in their life, and always be sure they're taken care of. And then after that, the coaches too. The coaches work really, really hard. They're going to be expected to work really, really hard. And I am very, very demanding as a coach, as a communicator. I have really high expectations and standards. And that's not just for the kids, and it's not just for the assistant coaches or the coordinators. That's for me too. It's kind of the standards that I have and the expectations that I have. And if they're going to work that way, that hard and consistently, then they should be rewarded for that. They should be taken care of. And then after that too, all the people behind the scenes that even a lot of people don't know about that make a successful football program work, the support staff, the administrative team, the custodial staff that cleans the field house, all that stuff, being sure those people know that they're seen and that they're valued and that they're appreciated too. So just taking care of your people is probably the number one thing. At the end of the day, it's a people business. Like, yeah, we're coaching high school football and all that, but it's a people business for sure at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that consistency too is necessary. If you're a bear of a head coach, you're going to lose assistants, and that consistency is going to go fall by the wayside, and that's going to affect the program.
100%.
Yeah. So what about personally? Is there something that very few people know about you?
So one fun fact that I like to tell people is, so I got my master's degree from UTK in 2021 is when I finished that program. And that was the year they did graduation or held the ceremonies in Neyland Stadium that year. They still weren't doing it indoor at Thompson Bowling or the Food City Center or anything like that. And so we're there going through graduation. And I was the first person to walk across the stage in Neyland Stadium for graduation. It's the only year that they've done it, at least in recent memory that I looked up and stuff. And so because I was in the very, very back row, the last person on the end. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be here for forever. This take forever." And then they called me in my little row to go up there, and I was the first person to go across the stage, and got some really cool pictures of it and everything. Because I'm a Tennessee fan and stuff, and so I thought that was really, really cool experience.
That's funny with the name Gibson. I would have thought you would have been right in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too. But they divided it up by college and then by focus and then all that stuff, and so that's kind of how the chips fell.
Yeah. So as a Tennessee fan, who's going to be QB1 this year?
I have no idea. Whoever Coach Heupel and Coach Hasley thinks going to be the man. They're way smarter than I am, and I trust them way more than any opinion I could ever have.
Yeah. Um, so how about we'll do both as an athlete and as a coach.
Okay.
Give me an unforgettable sports memory for you.
Okay, I would say as an athlete, my funny enough, my junior year of high school, a lot of my friends, my close friends, were in the class ahead of me, and we had already been eliminated from the playoffs that year. And so we had one last game, and it was senior night at home, ironically enough, against South Doyle. And I wanted to be sure that we sent those guys out on a win. And it was probably the most complete, best game that we had played all year. And just seeing those guys go out with smiles on their faces, guys that I'm still really, really close friends with even today. Like, we're getting to watch our kids grow up together now. And we've been friends since we were little kids. Like, it's a really cool experience. And so that would probably be one as a player. And then as a coach, definitely in recent memory, getting introduced as the head football coach at South Doyle High School at a middle school basketball game at South Doyle Middle and a high school game at South Doyle High School was just an incredible experience. It was maybe 5 minutes total, both events combined, but I'll remember that for the rest of my life. Just hearing that, seeing the crowd, hearing the crowd and stuff like that, especially if you had told me 20 years ago that that would be happening, I would have called you crazy because, I mean, who knows where you're going to end up and stuff. But that was really, really cool.
Is that what when you were going to school, did you kind of know you always wanted to be a coach?
So when I was younger, not really. When I really first got kind of going in that direction was right after I graduated high school. I volunteered to work at the youth camp at Halls High School, which is where I graduated from, and then to work at Chad Pennington's receiver and quarterbacks camp at Webb School in Knoxville that I went to for 7 years, I guess, as a player growing up and stuff. So all through middle school, all through high school and all that stuff. And I was like, this is just the coolest job ever. You mean I get to be around football all day and I don't got to run at the end of practice? Like, yeah, I'll do this for sure. And so then I've just been hooked ever since. I did a bunch of volunteer work when I was an undergrad, got hired to coach and teach full time right after that. And then here I am 12 going on 13 years later, sitting here as a head football coach at South Doyle High School. And I love it. Like, I have no doubt. I'll tell people all the time, I have no doubt in my mind that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I love my job. I love the game. I love coaching the game. I think it's really, really important. And I value it a lot in the people that do it the right way.
That's great. And one other thing I just kind of thought, I was realizing, like, you've worked with Steven Souls Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
Iverson, who's headed to USF, I think.
Yeah, he's there right now. I saw a video of
Okay.
him working out with them a day or two ago already,
Yeah.
which is just crazy.
What's that like to get to watch some of these guys on SEC Network? You know, Steven Souls getting a sack, and just knowing you've been a part of shaping them.
Yeah, it's so valuable because I know all the kids that we had at Powell, and even when I was at Halls too, that have gone on to play at the next level, like, they love football, and like, and those are my guys. Like, I tell people again all the time, if you play for me, especially if you play on my side of the ball, and definitely in my position group, like, you are my guy forever, like 100%, no doubt. Like, I've still got kids today that are, I say kids, they're 26, 27 years old that are getting married and having kids and stuff that still reach base and touch, touch base, excuse me, and reach out to me about just life events that they have going on. Like, those are my guys. And so getting to see those guys, one, achieve a dream that they've had for forever since they were little kids to put on a helmet at John Tarleton, maybe. Seeing them have success doing that is just rewarding enough for me. But then knowing all the hard work they put into it and like how proud they're making their families to make the stage like that is really, really awesome to see. All the guys that are playing in college, the guys we've had that have gone on to the NFL, things like that. It is such a rewarding experience seeing who, to me, like the first time that you meet somebody, he's a 14-year-old middle school kid who's in 8th grade, maybe 7th grade. And then to see that kid go on to play Division I Power 4 football or to play in the NFL, it is just crazy to see. And I just makes me so happy for him.
I would imagine the recruiting part of being a head coach is going to be uh, a bit of a new experience, right?
Yeah, so that's one thing that has been really, really beneficial for me is Coach Lowe's helped me a ton with being the college recruiting coordinator or college liaison while I was at Powell. And I even helped with that at Halls too under Coach Overton when I was there. So just being able to build up that contact list and database of college coaches who are they could be at one place in January, there's someplace else in July, and then if things don't go well or things go really, really good, there's someplace else in December. So you got to keep up with that as well because they're always moving around and things like that. But just being able to build up that contact list and those established relationships and things like that has been huge for me. Being able to, again, touch base with those guys and reach out and be like, hey, I've got this kid, this kid, this kid that you could take a look at. Let me know what you think and things like that. It's been a huge, huge benefit for me to have in my back pocket as we move into this new chapter.
Well, that's great, man. I wish you the best of luck. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you.